Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. Go to f2bbs.com. www.f2bbs.com. The last bastion of free speech on the interweb. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. And I gotta tell you guys, I've been very anxious the last couple of days there. I've been really thinking about a bit of downsizing of my Pateks. And I gotta tell you, I love my wrist watch collection. I do. And I gotta be honest with you, I love my Rolex. Here we go, the Rolex. The Milgauss, the ladies Datejust two-tone, Submariner 41, and the Explorer 2 42 mil. I love my watches. But I find it very hard to do sensible things. And to give you an idea, I'm thinking about getting out of a few Pateks, not because I don't love them, but basically what I wanted to do is get out of a few Pateks that would allow me to get into some Rolex. Now, I gotta tell you, this is a very tricky situation because I love my Patek Philippe more than anyone out there would understand or know. I love them. And for me to part with them, it really hurts. It does hurt me a lot. And to be totally honest with you, I just love them. I really love them. And I look at my collection, I got 5 Pateks there. Which ones would I contemplate selling? And I suppose the best thing we can do is we firstly look at which ones will I prefer not to sell. And I suppose numero uno would be my world time. Numero uno, world time. That's my 5110. It's yellow gold world time. It's the Patek that I've had for the longest. And I really do love that piece. Full box papers piece. Had it for, I think I've had it for, how long have I had it now? I've had it for, I've had that for 5 years, over 5 years. Love the piece. It's my Patek. I had it serviced. It's just a great Patek to have and enjoy. So that's the first one I don't really want to sell. Don't want to sell that. And then the next one, I'd say, well, if I'm going to keep a couple Pateks, you'd say, well, look, Arch, your annual calendar. Great story to that. I bought that, and then I had to part with it because I needed the money to buy a piano. And then I managed to buy it back. Great story. I mean, it's a great story. And I love that piece. I really do love that piece. So I've had that recently serviced. I got that serviced before COVID in 19. Great piece. Huge potential because it's really a bit of a sleeper. They've been a little bit of a sleeper, but they could come full circle. The first annual calendar, it's a great watch. Great story. I got that for my 40th. So that definitely is not for sale. So I'd say out of my 5 Pateks, I'd say the World Time and the annual calendar are definitely no-go. And then I probe a bit deeper. I say, okay, well, Archie, you got 3 Calatravas. And I've often looked at this and said, you know what? Which ones would I sell there? And you know, the problem is I love all these 3. Probably the 6006 would bring the most money because it's just funky with the black dial. It uses the 240 movement. It's got the deployment buckle. It's just a gorgeous piece there. So that's got huge, you know, I love that piece, but I suppose for me I'd want to keep the 5127 because it's so much similar to the 5107 I started this ball game with. That was originally, that wasn't my first Patek. Now, I'd had a few, but that was my first Patek. I got no compromise 5107, and the 5127's basically the next incarnation. It's got the curved bezel instead of the flat, smooth bezel. So, to me, the 5127, it's got the crown guards, white gold. I love that piece. I love that piece a lot. And then I suppose if I look at them, I really love having the manual wind. Manual wind is also another piece I really love. That's the 5196. So I suppose if I was going to flick one, it'd probably be the 5196 and or the 6006. And it's funny because those are the 2 models which are, they're actually the newest out of the lot. They are the newest out of that entire range there. So yeah, it's an interesting decision. It's an interesting dilemma. I find it I'm very anxious about considering selling 1 or 2 of those. So basically the 5196 and the 6006, 2 classic quintessential Pateks. I love them both. They're probably the 2 that I'd part with. And it's a hard decision. I do find it hard because I love my Pateks. I love them, but you know, at the end of the day, I've got 5 Patek Philippes, 5 of these damn things, and you think to yourself, Arch, 5 Patek Philippes. The service costs on 5 Pateks, if I sent them in for service, would be about 10,000 Aussie dollars. And you say to yourself, Arch, how many, you know, they're conservative dress sort of watches there, how many is enough? And that's kind of where it becomes a projection. And we sort of say to ourselves, you know what? Yeah, I think I love all of them, but if I was to part with 1 or 2, I think it would be the 6006, and then the 6006, and then it would be the 5196. Yeah, I think that's kind of the That's the two I'd possibly sell. And you know, I find it very hard there. I love them. I love them to death. I love Pateks. I've always loved Pateks. And I kind of look at this and think, you know, Arch, it just makes it so hard for me to think about which one do I want to sell, which one do I want to keep. But I think for me, possibly the 5196 in yellow gold, and possibly the 6006 in white gold. That's and you know, the funny thing is, there's a lot of plus side. You know, I'm not selling those. I didn't pick those because I think those are the ones that are least likely to become valuable. In fact, I think the 6006, you look at the 6007, it's got huge potential to explode in price. The 5196, quintessential manual wine Patek, just absolutely beautiful. But I think you've got it. I've done it in reverse. Which ones would I not sell? So the world time I really love. That's been a grail for years. The annual calendar, that's got a great story to it. That's my story. I love that watch. The 5127, well, that was very reminiscent of the 5107. So keep that. And that leaves the two remaining is the 5196 and the 6006. And a lot of people said to me, keep the black dial. That's the 6006. But I've done it. I've worked it out this way. So, guys, what do you think? I'm so anxious. It's anxious just thinking about which one do I keep, which one do I sell. It makes me anxious. So I'd like to hear from the audience. Tell me what you think, guys. Tell me what you think. Am I nuts? Should I just keep the lot? I'm ArchieLuxury. Tell me what you guys think of that. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, ArchieLuxury channel. I want to make this video. I never thought I'd be making this video. And I am making this video. It's a very, 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 very hard video for me to make. Guys, I want to sell off some of my Pateks. There you go, guys. I've enjoyed the journey. I've loved them. They've been amazing pieces, but it's time now for me to sell a few off. I gotta be honest with you, I looked at my pieces, and what do I want to keep? I want to keep my world time. I want to keep my annual calendar. I want to keep my 5127, the 6006. I'll come to that later. I got someone who's expressed a bit of interest and I'm not quite ready. But guys, the 5196, it's ready to go. 5196. I'd like to sell it to somebody in Australia. That's right, guys. I want to sell it to someone in Australia. I love this watch. 5196 is one of the quintessential Pateks. Absolutely love it with all my heart. I really do love my 5196. Why am I selling? Why am I selling? Why am I selling? I'm selling because I got 5 Pateks and I want to downsize a bit. I want to put some money into Rolex Steel Sports. And I love my Pateks. I love my Pateks more than anything. But I probably got too many. I probably have got too many for somebody of my station in life, i.e. not so rich. I got too many of the damn things. So, I gotta tell you, I actually would like to sell my 5196. That's right, guys. The 5196 is on the market. How much do I want? How much do I want? I want 23,500. I had a guy who actually bought it off me for that price before COVID. He put down $1,000, but then he backed out because his business, he had troubles, and I said to him, I said, that's completely okay. And he said, keep the $1,000, Arch. I said, I'll give you half back. I gave him 500 back. So I got to tell you, now's the time I'd like to move my 5196. Why am I moving it? Why? I tell you why. Because I want to get more Steel Sports Rolex. That's why I want to get more Steel Sports Rolex. I want to get more Steel Sports Rolex. That's the reason. It's the only reason. And I got to tell you, I don't want to ship overseas. I don't do shipping well. I want to get Steel Sports Rolex. That's what I want to buy, more Steel Sports. Because I got to tell you guys, seriously, I love to have some Steel Sports in the box. 4 in the box, 1 on the wrist. And I got to tell you, I've loved my Pateks. They mean the world to me. But how many do I really need? And I think I need 3 or 4 Pateks. 3 or 4 Pateks is enough. So I'm actually going to sell my 5196. I'm putting it on the market here. If you're interested, email me, ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. Email me at ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. I'd like to sell my 5196. I'd like to sell my 5196. Does that mean I'm desperate for money? No, not really. I've just got 5 Pateks. I'm thinking, you know what, Arch? Let's keep the ones that I really love. What do I really love? I really love my World Time. I love my annual calendar. I love my 5127. I got to part with a few things. I want to get a bit of moolah in. And I think that's the way to go. That's what I think could be a good idea, is to get a bit of money in. Just have a bit of reserve. I don't constantly want to be on the seat of my pants. I don't want to be on the seat of my pants. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. I think that's what I shall do. I shall do that, guys. I shall do that. And yeah, I think, look, I love Pateks. I love them. How many do I need there? I think I've thought about it, and I've had them for a while, and I've really enjoyed them. I loved having them. But time has come now where I want to actually move a few on. I want to keep my World Time. I want to keep my annual. Those two, I suppose, are the two that I really want to keep. The 5127, which a lot of people, you may not, that watch means a lot to me because it's very similar to my 5107. So I want to put my 5196. Now is the time to put my 5196 out on the market. So there you go. If you're interested in a 5196, I'm interested in selling. There you go. I love it. I do love my 5196. I love it so much. I love it a lot. But I love it a lot. But it's time for me to be sensible. I mean, how many Pateks I don't even wear. They're just beautiful, delicate, beautiful things. I don't even wear them often. I'd like to get out. I want to get out. I want to get some money in. like to get some money in, just have a bit of reserve, and yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Yeah, I'd like to do that. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Move a few Patek Philippes. Move a few Pateks. Yeah. I love my Pateks. They mean so much to me. They shaped who I am as a person. I just think it's nice time now to just, I'm not selling all of them. I'm not fire sailing them. I'm not like that. But I'm just thinking, you know what? Wall time, annual calendar, 5127. That's the main contenders that I want to keep. It's time for the 5196 to go now. And it's beautiful. Yellow gold is actually quite rare. Yellow gold's quite rare. I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to let it go. So there you go. 5196 for sale, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm ArchieLuxury, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Love yous all. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.